Okay, okay.
I guess I'll hit record. All right. Well, are you ready?
Yes, yes, I'm ready.
All right. All right. Well, welcome to a very special episode of Cosmic Road today, where we are joined once again by remote viewer Anita Conan. Welcome to the show, Anita.
Thank you for having me on the show again.
It's awesome. Today we have a really exciting remote viewing target. Just to remind you how this process works with Anita, with this specific process, I come up with a target. She doesn't know what it is. I use a random number generator that I assign a 8 number sequence to the target, and I mentally link it with the tasking. And then I send her the 8 number sequence, and that's all she sees, and she does her remote viewing session or sessions, and she sends me her data afterwards. And only then do I tell her what the target was. And I can tell you right now that she was hitting the target. Yeah, so well done, Anita.
This session is so good. I'm sorry to brag, but this is such a good RV session. Oh my God.
Love it, love it. Well, the tasking was very simple. I've been told to keep my taskings simpler, so I did. And it was to simply view the non-human intelligent activity at Mount Adams. Legendary Mount Adams, home of so much UFO and paranormal lore. It's where ECETI Ranch is. It's one of these places like Mount Shasta where just stuff seems to happen. So I thought it would be a great remote viewing project. And I haven't reviewed all of Anita's data. I just looked at the pictures, and she was definitely seeing the mountain.
Yay.
So yeah, I can't wait to see what else she found out for us. So take it away, Anita.
Yay. So let me just start by a couple of things. So we're doing targets that both of us know ahead of time. It's likely to be mystery, UFO, alien kind of themed targets. So I know to expect something like that, when I'm starting a session. Now, the targets I get from Jack are completely blind. I don't get any clues about what it is. I just get a sequence of randomly generated numbers to look at. But we both know that we're kind of doing the mystery series. However, this session was completely down to earth, almost. There's one interesting thing, but we have nature, we have mountains, we have the trees, we have the lake and the fish and the animals and the bears and the berry bushes. And so it was really cool, not just to get a target, which is at such a target site, which is so different from, UFO and outer space, to get something so down to earth as a target tasking, but also to get it accurate, that my mind isn't just making up the mysteries, that I can literally go to a target. I really love, let me show you my screen now. Let's see, we're going to look at the report and the feedback. So this is what Jack sent me. After I sent him my report, he sent me the feedback, which tells me what the target was, so that I find out afterwards. So this is the target. Describe any non-human intelligent activity at Mount Adams shown in this picture. So I get that little text and this picture. And so this is my full report. I'm just gonna do like this. Let's just scroll through it just so it's on video. Anyone can pause. And now Jack already has this. This is the full text. And
I haven't
also,
gone over it yet. I wanted to be surprised when you were going over it.
oh, well, I'm going to go over it from memory instead of reading. But I want to scroll, so anyone who wants to pause and take a look and read sees that it's all in there. So you can also find I publish all of my reports on my website. We're just going to scroll so it's on record, even though I already have the feedback, but we're almost down. Oh, okay, now we don't need this anymore. So let's just walk through it. So my first drawing is of the initial elements, as always, and we have a life form. That's the red blur. And some kind of an object, not really object, structure, more like this brown. So that's the first things I see from the number, the target number. And there's the target number 2986-5417. That's like the name of the target. That's what I use to know the target. Kind of like you have a person and you know their name, and you just know things about them just from the name, you know. So this number, I have to know the character of the target as if it were the name of a thing before I officially know it. So here are my first drawings. So remember the feedback picture I showed you of the mountain? That was the feedback picture. That's where I was supposed to go, Mount Adams. So you see, I'm definitely likely to be in the correct place. We have forests upon forests upon forests. We have a beautiful lake with jumping fish, rocks, this big hole formation in the ground, which didn't seem to be anything. You know, when you see where I drew this hole on 2 drawings, when you get the structure like that in remote viewing, you have to investigate it because it could be the thing of interest. You know, it could be what is depicted on the feedback picture. But I looked at it and it didn't really have anything for me to look at. So it wasn't the main thing. I realized that early on, but it's in there. It was in the scenery. You see, I've drawn mountains early on, just vast wilderness nature, although a bridge as well. And it very quickly gets interesting. I have so many impressions of life forms. And sometimes when I remote view, I can confuse human with monkey because they're similar. Sometimes if I have a human, I might describe it as a monkey. But in this one, I started to be pretty sure that I actually have a monkey, which is an animal and not a human. We will get to that. So you see a lot of impressions of animal body parts. And this animal hand, which is like a paw, and it has these short fingers, like a cat's paw almost, and long curved claw. And this thing on the left, the black animal on the lower left, it was like a gorilla ape or bear. So some animal like that.
I don't want to meet a gorilla ape. That sounds scary.
Well, at this early stage, I don't exactly know the species yet. It's kind of this big black thing. It's kind of like a gorilla or a bear, in the ballpark of that. That's the impressions I'm having. And I saw clearly this monkey, man. It had this nozzle of a chimpanzee, this big snout, which is called prognathism. Not sure if I pronounced it correctly. I took an anthropology class at university, so it's called prognathism, this big monkey snout. And it had a very long head. And this head was bald, no hair. And the skin color on the face and head is this beige color, but it has some black hairs on the sides and on the body.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't expect monkeys to be at Mount Adams.
Exactly. Spoiler alert, but this session made me think there could be a Bigfoot there.
Okay, okay, all right, cool, cool, all right.
Not something that I would look for or hope to find, but I was having impressions of animals of various kinds, mainly just mammals and ape impressions, clearly not human. So one creature here was injured. So you see the hand is removed by some injury or attack, and you can just see the stump, and it's just gushing blood. And this bearded man, which is the same as the ape, turns out. And as I was looking at this ape thing, it had the arched back. So it has this posture. It has a very stiff upper back. It cannot stand upright with its back. It has an arched back. And there's this big hump. It's fat at the back of the neck. And the upper back and behind the neck is very thick. And it has this slumped position. However, the lower part of the body has a human posture, and the pelvis bone is normal. It's just like a human pelvis for the upright position, for standing upright, except for the upper back is slumped, but the lower part is human.
Is this posture caused by an injury, or was it
No,
just
that's its posture. So
posture.
the lower part of the body stands like a human, and the uppermost is permanently slumped because it's stiff and very thick. I thought that was interesting. So I was starting to really think it's not a human because of this as well. And you see impressions again, mountain. The target feedback picture has a mountain. So it's really cool that I'm just mountain impressions. And I saw a cave with stalactites, if that's the correct term for these. So next picture.
Yeah, stalactites are the ones that come down, and stalagmites are the ones that go up.
All right, I got it right.
Yeah.
So next picture. Again, animal hand, claws. This could be a bear. It was this big fat animal paw with
Well, bears have a hunchback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, but not a human pelvis or the human upright posture of the lower back. See, that's what was interesting. So this animal hand was like a bear hand because the fingers were very short and stumpy. They were not chimpanzee or ape or human fingers on this impression, on this creature, and very long curved claws that are also not human or ape. So there was probably a bear as well that I was getting. Animals, insects, sky view. When I went up into the sky, high above, just to take a look, where am I? I just see forest. I drew that forest and some grass in between. And I saw so clearly this animal was diving in the lake, and its eyes and nostrils were at the surface. And this animal had webbed feet it was paddling with, and these lily pads and little plants on the lake. And I had this on the left. It looked like this because I didn't have the full clarity. So it was a shape and an outline of beige color. Obviously, nothing looks like that. So it's missing some detail and coloration. Ears, for instance, should be there. But this kind of a creature that stands upright, but the upper back is slumped. And you can see I drew the hump again, the upper back. And it's
That's
in
a good
this.
Drawing.
It is. I love this drawing. I really like it. Thank you. So it's in this cave, and the cave floor is sandy, maybe a bit of muddy stones, and it's just littered with bones. Not a thick pile that you would wade through, but a thin layer of all sorts of bones. Now there was like a deer's head bone, there were antlers from deers, and there were all kinds of rib bones, femur bones, and it picks up with its hand. Interesting if it's supposedly a bear. It picks up with its hand a femur bone and it puts it in this end of the bone in its mouth and starts gnawing on it. And I had impressions that this being in the cave was eating bones or eating the bone marrow. I saw one like a long bone or femur bone that was halved along its length, so you could see the bone marrow inside, and that was, I had this feeling that it was going to eat the bone marrow. Lots of bones in this cave. And I saw from the outside this building, the mountain again. I drew a mountain in the background and these picnic tables. So I've seen that as well. This is my last drawing. This one looks weird because I was having some kind of this actually ape thing, the orange, the beige in the water in the lake, and a fish creature, which was a big fish with scales. And they were interacting, and I wrote in the text report, the ape-like thing, which was also called the bearded man, he went into the lake to catch some fish to eat. And I see this fight between a huge fish that could be like a sturgeon or something very big, a fight between the big fish and this bearded man who has the hunched back, because this man wants to eat the fish, but the fish injures him. The man gets red marks, scratches on his neck from the injuries. And here I'm probing. You can see I've drawn this, I copied the blue drawing and started, then I write probed. I started patting on it to get some color and some detail. And I'm getting all this brown color. I'm getting again the prognathism, the chimpanzee snout on it. I got black eyebrow hairs. I got the big hunchback on the back, which is on the left side, some brown and beige skin colorations, big human-like lips, and some just these big, smooth beige colored cheeks, some red-brown hairs on this side here of the mouth, as well as impressions of this big fish thingy. Now, these are some ugly drawings. They're not finished. They don't make perfect sense, but I know I have a big fish and I know I have basically a big ape thing, like a Bigfoot.
So hang on, just to clarify. So this guy in the water, that's the same being that was the ape being or
Yeah.
uh, the hunchback being?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And you can,
Because he looks very different in these pictures than in
yeah.
the other ones. The
Well,
more like
but this is incomplete. The one in the middle with the red, that's what I call a paper tracing. I hope I don't bore people now, but I will get something which doesn't have a lot of detail or all the colors on it. So I will put it down on the paper. Then I start doing a paper tracing on it, which means now I'm going to look at the fine details, choose one direction away from the nose or up a little, and just look at really closely at a very little bit, see what's there, what kind of shapes, what kind of colors. So I'm tracing, you see that I went downward from the face and saw some black hairs on the throat. Then I went to the left from the nose and eye. I got some little plants, leaves. So I've basically been going this way and that and getting a bit of clues. And we have the
okay,
black eyebrows.
all right. I've got to
But it,
ask
yeah.
because he looks kind of duck-like here. You know, is that intentional
No,
or
no
no,
duck. There's no duck. No
okay,
duck beaks of
okay.
any kind.
You see, like this in this one picture, he looks like he's kind of got it like a bill, but
On
you're
the
saying that's more
left,
like the monkey like the
the orange.
protruding. Yeah, where it says probed. That
Yes,
guy's got
yes.
like a crest
Yeah,
on his head, and he looks like
yeah.
he's got a bill
It's the
sticking out.
it's the it's the
Yeah,
prognathism of the
that's the word.
chimpanzee.
Yeah, prognostic. Yeah, I'm not going to even try that, but yeah, okay, that word.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a chimp-like nozzle.
okay, all right.
It's
So
not a
now I've
beak.
got
It's not
okay.
a duck beak in any kind.
All right. With that being said, I have to add, going back to the Nazca mummies, you know how I always had the Nazca mummies on the brain. Well,
Uh,
there is a being, multiple beings, but there's a few human-sized beings. One of them is well known as called Maria. who does have a protruding face and a more elongated skull, and she's got scaly skin. So, interesting that you're finding these same features on this being here.
Well, let's not mix that in.
And she has, and according to the DNA tests that have been released, it appears like she has ape-like DNA and human DNA.
All right. Well, this one had a long head, which reminded me of Yeti. You know, those probably fake Yeti puppets made of goat skin. This long head with this line. Now, this line that I draw, I also learned from anthropology class at university. That's called a sagittal crest. There were some ancient hominids called I forget the name, but the more older ones, they have this sagittal crest. And I think gorillas also have a sagittal crest. However, it's probably not visible. It's probably embedded in soft tissue, but it exists on the cranium of gorillas as well. This ape Bigfoot thing had the sagittal crest, a very long head, which is all bald up here, no hair on it, orange beige color of the head and skin, and the prognathism as well, and the arched hunchback. Now, this whole target made me think, okay, did I get tasked on Bigfoot or Yeti or Neanderthals? That's what I was thinking that I have. However, it's interesting that the tasking says describe any non-human intelligent activity. I had all kinds of animals that are not human. I love the way this was tasked because it instantly just wiped away the humans. No humans, just the non-humans that are intelligent. I love that as well. I had like a bear. I've had like some kind of a little smaller cat. I've had something that's like otter. I had a big fish, like a sturgeon. And then presumably it's intelligent. And I've had like bear, maybe some wolf kinds, different animals, all kinds of animals. This was full of animals. You got exactly what you wanted. I did a sweep of the mountain and the forests and put all kinds of animals there and describe their intelligent activities. So there was a lot of fighting going on, a lot of injuries that animals were inflicting on other animals. And also the intelligent activities were mainly also around eating.
Okay,
Centered
so like
around
in the
meat.
future, would a better way for me to have phrased this? Because you're clearly
No,
hitting the target.
yeah, I
But
get you
I
exactly what
wasn't
you
getting
asked for.
the alien or other dimensional or
There are no
paranormal.
aliens then.
Oh,
I
so
found
would a better way for me to have phrased this would be to see the anomalous features instead of the non-human intelligent features.
you look for aliens without saying the word aliens because you cannot say describe the aliens because maybe there are no aliens and you just get
Well,
a imagination or the
I don't want to
legend.
presuppose they're
Yeah,
aliens
I
necessarily.
didn't get
They could
any,
be
so I'm
they
saying
could
there
be
aren't any. Again,
okay. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. If that's what you're saying. Well,
ha,
there are a lot of Mount Adams experiencers that see stuff,
any
but
Bigfoots, big feet?
I don't know. Probably,
I think
probably.
there is. After this, I sure think I was up close to this bearded man. I believe in Bigfoot now if I didn't before. I've seen stuff. I've seen stuff, Jack. I was
You've
in
seen
this.
stuff, Anita. You have definitely seen stuff. I
I've
love it.
been
I love it.
I've been in this. Look at this vast forest. I was there. I've seen some things. It was
It
animals
sounds
and
like an awesome, experience to view this mountain and nature and
this was a
everything. It sounds like a
beautiful, oh, this was a beautiful target. I've enjoyed this one so much. It was so pretty. I had perfect visual images of the nature of the trees and the little leaves and the plants. Also found a trail camera against a tree. It's also in my report, trail camera that captures the snapshots of wildlife, like a Bigfoot camera. You know, you want to catch the Bigfoot. I found a trail camera. I did find some human activity. There was some man who drove there in a car. There's possibly some illegal poaching going on. Some man is collecting, I wrote ivory, but deer antlers and the kind, which is going to be sold at a marketplace. Also saw a man very clearly opening a beer can. Even heard the sound of the beer can. I think I heard the sound as well. So
Hey, if you remote view somebody that's drinking, can you feel the effects of the alcohol?
if I probe for it, but I didn't really probe. I
Hmm.
didn't look at the human whatsoever when I
The
saw
calorie-free
glimpse.
way of drinking, guys. Think about it. Think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Um,
No
this
hangover.
was, yeah, this was a beautiful target. This is one of my all-time favorite targets that I've done all my 6 years. So thank you so much for this one. I had such a good time. And I've created a video based on the session. Um, I would urge every single person who watches this feedback discussion video to go to my channel and watch the illustrated Mount Adams Bigfoot video that I made, where I have taken everything in the text report that I wrote and all of my drawings, and I have generated pictures with text to image AI to illustrate what I've seen. And also I've taken vocals. I communicated telepathically a bit with various animals and I wrote it down. I turned that into vocal as well. So you can see very vividly the whole beautiful nature experience, as well as all of these beautiful close-ups of what I really think could be some kind of a Bigfoot. However, when time is not specified on the tasking, it could really go anywhere. I was happy to see a car as well as sailboats because that placed me into contemporary time and not ancient times. So that helped me when I thought I was having some kind of a Neanderthalish kind of thing. At least we're not way back when. It could still jump around depending on the tasking, the tasking is asking for. But this hominid that I found, at least this individual, is dead and has turned into bones. So at least that individual, we cannot go searching for. There could be others, but this particular one, not. Yeah, describe any non-human intelligent activity at Mount Adams. I was in the forest. I've given you bears, some kind of a Bigfoot. I think so. So many features that it's either a human or it's a Bigfoot. It's not an animal, this one. It's not a bear. And it has so many features that are not human. The posture, the thick back of the neck, the prognathism, the sagittal crest, and other
That's
aspects of it.
that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
So you got a lot of as you asked for, non-human intelligent activity. That's the report is full of just that. Non-human and intelligent. So we don't see any insects. I have insects that I've seen, but we're not looking at their behaviors or small animals. We're looking at the big mammals, as well as a big sturgeon-like fish, which implies that it's intelligent. And we're looking at their activities, which is mainly eating or fighting and injuring each other. I have no aliens. I have nothing cryptid. I have a Bigfoot. I have a cryptid. But I have nothing aliens. I have no UFO. I have no mystery except for a Bigfoot. Yeah, it's straightforward nature. Nature, we went into this forest and looked at the non-human intelligent activities. Yeah, so you got
Very
what you
cool.
asked for. And once again, we say this almost every time, no aliens.
No, yeah, no aliens.
No
But I do have to,
aliens, Jack.
no, fair enough, fair enough. But I do have to ask you because you say you were communicating telepathically with the animals. Did any of them reply?
Oh, yes, we have two-way conversations. Oh, yes, they were speaking to me directly. Now, telepathy with life forms during remote viewing, it's probably, or possibly at least, a simulation and not a genuine conversation that is really going to take place sometime. It could just be an interpretation of what they would have said. If I were there, what would they have said in that case? It's one cannot assume that it's a genuine, oh, this conversation happened. But I'm reading their minds, I'm reading their thoughts, and interacting as if they were aware of me and what would they have said to me. And most of them were just hostile and telling me to not come here. Very hostile animals.
Did you, what was the best interaction that you had that was like non-hostile?
Non-hostile. I guess the blueberries. Probably a bear in a cave asked me if I have any blueberries. I said, no, I don't have any. And it told me where I might find some, in which direction. And it told me that blueberries is good because it gives it a softer feces. Because if it eats animals, it ingests so much of the hairs that the feces is full of hair and it's hard for the animal to pass it. It gets stuck in the rear. So blueberries are good for its bowel movements. We had that conversation. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. That's
Yeah.
wild. Well, bear roughage. Okay, I wanted aliens, but I got bear roughage. I love it. Okay.
I'll give you aliens one day. I've had aliens. I was once tasked by a different tasker to go to the Zeta Reticuli stars, which is supposedly where the Zeta Grays aliens come from, and to look for any planets or life. I found a planet and I found life, or it found me. I mentioned this session before, but it shows that I can get an alien, and I believe personally, I can't prove it, but I believe it was a real alien. I can have him, but on this target, I didn't have. There weren't any.
Well, there was
I
that
went.
one set. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go
There was that one session that went sideways, but actually it was really cool where you got a lot of information about the Nazca people. And you were also making contact with the Nazca beings, the non-humans, and you were able to interact with them. So, whatever
Yeah.
they are.
Oh yeah, I did have those. That's right. I keep forgetting. And we
Yeah.
we sort of had something with Skinny Bob. But
Yeah.
on this one, no aliens, but lots of beautiful animals. And I think a Bigfoot. Please, everyone watching this, every single person, please go and watch the illustrated Bigfoot, Mount Adams Bigfoot illustrated video that I made because it's so beautiful. I took all my text and drawings and turned them into vivid photographic quality images of everything that I've seen. And I tell the story. It's so beautiful, this target.
All right, guys, go check out Anita's channel and watch that beautiful video. Thank you so much for joining us, Anita. I
Thank
really appreciate
you.
it.
I love this one because it gives a solid baseline refreshment. This session clearly shows that, okay, we get some baseline improvement here, some confidence in my abilities.
Yeah, yeah.
Going
Well, it makes me
forward.
jealous. I want to do some remote viewing so I can view these beautiful nature scenes. I mean, that just sounds amazing.
Oh,
Sounds like
I don't believe you. I don't believe you want to learn remote view and just look at nature. You would be
I don't
up
think I
there.
have the discipline to be a
No, but I
remote
mean, you can
viewer.
look at UFOs and everything. Why would you look? No, but the nature RV is one of my favorite. But nothing to be jealous about. Everybody can remote view. Now I'm using my own method, EEC, which only I know how to use. But there are so many methods, and there are teachers and courses, and everybody, every single person is able to remote view. It's not something, okay, some people are born a bit more psychic, maybe have it easier, have more visual connection, but everybody, almost at least, can learn. It's not hard. And the beauty of the controlled remote viewing method, CRV method, which was developed by, at least in collaboration with the United States Army ever since the 1970s, they developed it so that everybody can use it. They wanted a method that anybody can use. You don't have to be psychic. Plus, they wanted it to be real, not just fortune telling that sounds real. That's why we use the blind condition, where the remote viewer doesn't know at all any clues about what the target is. That the blind condition, I think, also, I'm pretty sure we can also attribute to the United States Army, who developed CRV, because they're not interested in entertainment value. They don't want some fortune teller to tell them what they want to hear. They were interested in accurate data for intelligence purposes, such as where do we retrieve a lost personnel or aircraft. It has to be the truth, not just a whimsical description. And so we have CRV is the original method, as far as I understand it, and that's the one that most people use. And they made it so streamlined that anybody can learn. Everybody can do this. It's very easy. Yeah.
All right, there you go, guys. Go learn remote viewing and all that kind of good stuff. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming on the show, and look forward to having you next
Thank
time.
you for this one. I loved this one, and I look forward to our next adventure. And maybe next time we do find some aliens.
Or some more bears that need a change in their diet. I don't know.
Bigfoot, some more Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Okay,
Yes,
sounds
we did
good.
find
Sounds good.
Bigfoot, so it's nice.
All right, guys. We'll give Anita a big thank you and
Hang
shout
on.
out in the comments below. Go check out her channel, watch that amazing video, like, thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road and Anita signing off.
Bye bye.
All right. And
No aliens once again. No
no
aliens. I'm
aliens, also
sorry.
aliens. That's right. That's right. It is what it is. But you got that cool Bigfoot and you got to talk to a bear. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He sent me into the forest, so that's what we get.
Did you have any further interactions like last time with beings showing up after or during your sessions?
No, not from. Oh, I spoke too soon. I did have an incident because of. So after I finished this remote viewing, I suppose I was still connected, because I don't really cut off the connection when I'm finished. So it kind of stays, kind of like if you phone someone on the telephone and you finish the conversation, but you don't hang up the phone, so you can still hear each other, and you're supposed to hang up the phone, but I never do that. I never close the targets. So I had, after the session, when I had a dream, I had some really bad dreams, which were about violence. And I had a very vivid experience, which was almost identical to things that I have witnessed on the target site. Now it happened to me, or that I was experiencing it so close as if it was me. So I was on my belly on the ground in this forest. Someone grabbed one of my arms, pulled it behind my back, and just pulled and just disconnected it from the shoulder. Really brutal. I was having all these, but this kind of impressions are also depicted in my report as well. But
That sounds terrifying.
Oh, it was terrible. I felt every bit of it. Yeah. but then I woke up, so I was glad to be safe. But I was in those dreams for quite a while, a couple of minutes, or I don't know how long, just experiencing all this brutality. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
animals mauling each other in the forest, it's brutal. We don't think about it because it doesn't happen to us, but it's not nice. But I suggest you also watch the video I made. It's
I
called
will. I will. I'm looking forward
Mount
to it. Yeah.
Mount Adams Bigfoot Illustrated, and it will tell you everything that's in the report, so you don't even have to read it, because I took every bit of text and illustrated and narrated it so that you can see it as a story presentation instead of reading.
All
It
right. Well,
turned out so nice.
I will. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for this. I loved it. It was a lovely session. Alien or no?
No, no,
No, no, no aliens.
no, as usual.
Someday, someday.
Well, we
That's right.
kind of maybe had the skinny bob, maybe, but we'll get them. We'll get them.
They're out there.
At least we're staying down to earth. It would be bad if I would say aliens on everything, even the hoax ones, you know?
Right.
So it's
Right.
kind of cool. But honestly, I think there's a Bigfoot out there. I really do.
Yeah. No, Bigfoot's a thing. Bigfoot's real.
Yeah, I think so. I was seeing it.
All right.
Very well,
Well,
thank you for this one. I had so much fun, and one of my most loved and memorable sessions of all of my remote viewing history. I really cherished this
that's awesome. That's
one. Yeah.
awesome. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
All right.